Carl Jung versus Sigmund Freud, the friendship that changed psychology forever. They were once father and son, the pioneers of a new science that dared to explore the mind itself. Sigmund Freud, the revolutionary thinker who founded psychoanalysis. Carl Jung, the brilliant young psychiatrist who Freud called his spiritual heir. But their friendship, one that could have changed the world of psychology forever, ended in betrayal, heartbreak, and silence. This is the story of Carl Jung versus Sigmund Freud, the friendship that shaped and shattered modern psychology. Section 1. The Meeting. It was 1907, Vienna. Freud was already famous, the father of the unconscious mind, and the man who believed human behavior was driven by repressed desires, especially sexual ones. Carl Jung, a 32-year-old Swiss psychiatrist, was the rising star from the Bergholzli Clinic in Zurich. When they met, something electric happened. They talked for 13 straight hours, as if two halves of the same mind had finally found each other. Freud saw in Jung the future of his movement, a brilliant successor who could carry psychoanalysis into the next century. And Jung saw in Freud a mentor, a visionary who had dared to look into the forbidden corners of the human soul. They began a friendship built on ideas, admiration, and a shared obsession with the unconscious. Section 2. The unconscious mind. At first, their theories aligned. Both believed the unconscious was the hidden engine of human behavior. But where Freud saw a dark basement of repressed drives, Jung began to see something more. A vast creative field of symbols, dreams, and spiritual meaning. To Freud, religion was illusion, a collective neurosis humanity refused to outgrow. To Jung, religion and myth were reflections of deeper psychological truths, manifestations of what he would later call the collective unconscious. This was the first seed of disagreement, a subtle crack in the foundation of their bond. Section 3. Freud's fear and Jung's rebellion. As Jung's ideas evolved, Freud grew anxious. He warned Jung not to abandon the theory of sexuality. It was, he said, the cornerstone of psychoanalysis. Without it, the movement would lose credibility. But Jung was not afraid to question his teacher. He believed the psyche was more than biological instincts. It was a spiritual journey, a quest for wholeness. He wrote, "The greatest and most important problems in life are all fundamentally insoluble. They can never be solved, but only overgrown." Freud dismissed Jung's mystical tone as dangerous, a step backward into superstition. And Jung began to feel suffocated by Freud's intellectual dominance. Section 4. The Breaking Point. In 1912, Jung published Psychology of the Unconscious, a book that expanded the psyche beyond Freud's theories. Freud felt betrayed. He wrote to Jung, "I can only hope that you will not go so far as to throw overboard everything that is rational." Jung replied, "My dear Freud, my patience as it end. I wish you well, but I can no longer submit to your dogma." Their letters grew cold. Then, silence. The mentor and the disciple, once inseparable, never spoke again. Jung later described the break as his greatest loss, but also his greatest liberation. Section 5. Jung's descent into the unconscious. After the split, Jung fell into what he called his confrontation with the unconscious. He entered a deep psychological crisis, Visions, voices, and symbols flooded his mind. Rather than resist, he dove in, recording everything in the Red Book, an illuminated manuscript filled with mythic dialogues and dreams. Where Freud turned away from mysticism, Jung turned toward it. He emerged from that darkness with his greatest discovery: the collective unconscious, the shared psychic inheritance of all humanity. Section 6. Astrology and Destiny. If we look at their astrological blueprints, we can see their cosmic contrast. Freud, born with Taurus sun and Scorpio moon, was grounded, sensual, and driven by hidden instincts, the perfect architect of a psychology rooted in desire. Jung, with his Cancer sun and Scorpio Mars, was emotional, intuitive, and drawn to transformation. His Mars in Scorpio made him fearless in exploring what others feared, even the realm of the soul itself. Two men, two destinies, each a mirror of the other's shadow. Section 7. Legacy. Though their friendship ended, their legacies intertwined forever. Freud gave us the courage to speak of what was once unspeakable, to face desire, repression, and the inner child. Jung gave us the language of myth, archetypes, dreams, and the soul. Together, they mapped the inner cosmos. Freud charted the depths, and Jung gave them meaning. The two poles of human understanding, science and spirit, instinct and imagination, ego and soul. Neither was complete without the other. Their friendship may have ended, but their dialogue continues. Inside all of us, the Freudian voice that seeks to explain, and the Jungian voice that seeks to understand. If you enjoyed this exploration into the minds that shaped modern psychology, drop a comment. Are you more like Freud or Jung? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more journeys through psychology, philosophy, and the soul. Because sometimes the greatest discoveries are born from conflict.